It's gonna be just us four.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, today is our last Questbridge meeting. And I'm recording for the other people that are not here. So if anyone wanted to come on, well, they're gonna have to catch up. Um, but yeah, this is our last meeting as the deadline is
Tuesday.
27th, Tuesday. So I brought in like a special speaker today.
Sure knows who it is.
I know. Let me. You see, you're not even let me introduce you. Yeah. Anyways, this person we met through Questbridge probably a couple months ago. Long time. Yeah, but this person got the Dell Scholarship, the Gates Scholarship. Jack Kent?
No, I didn't get Jack Kent.
Okay.
I didn't apply for that one.
Okay, yeah, the Dell Scholarship and the Gates Scholarship, and got in here through regular decision. So, introducing Chris.
Isaac, my name's Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Isaac. Yes, thank you for that introduction.
Nice meeting you, Isaac.
It's nice meeting you too. So like, how did this go? Like, does she ask me questions or?
Basically, kind of.
Okay.
And
So,
your personal story.
This is my personal story of Questbridge. So I applied to Questbridge. I want to say like March for the College Prep Scholars Program, and I was surprisingly like accepted, and I was like I didn't know what this was initially, so I was like really happy, and that really introduced me to all the schools, the college partners, and the admissions process to get an early kind of feel for it, and that's why I ranked, I want to say 8 schools instead of out of like the 12 slots that we had open. And I ranked Columbia, Stanford, Yale, Duke, UPenn, Vanderbilt, Brown, and I don't remember the other ones. But so on match day, I was like a mess. Okay, so I was actually at a college tour at Carroll University in Wisconsin, and I got my decision then, and I opened it, and it said, unfortunately, you were not among those who matched. And I was like, I want to go home now. So then I went home, and then I was like laying there, and then I chose to switch my National College Match application to Columbia University's ED1, which you can do that because some schools allow that, like UPenn. And so then decisions came out on December 14th at 6 p.m. Central Time for me. And it says like, we have decided to defer your application. I was like, this sucks. So then I was like, okay, I'm really scared I'm not going to get into a really good school. So then I ended up applying to 40 college partners with Questbridge and 30 plus schools on the Common App and Coalition application. So in total, I applied to like 72-ish schools. And you do not need to apply to that many schools, just to let you know, okay? But my experience with some of the college partners, I got waitlisted at the University of Chicago. I got waitlisted at Northwestern. I got waitlisted at Stanford, but I got into UPenn. I got into Dartmouth. I know this isn't a Questbridge partner, but I got waitlisted at Harvard. I got into Vanderbilt, obviously.
Yeah.
Swarthmore College, I got into Macalester College. I got into the University of Notre Dame. I don't remember what other ones I got into. Another one that's a Questbridge partner. I got into Johns Hopkins University. So if you don't match and you want to apply to those schools, you can tell, and you want to get in touch, you can just talk to Rachel and we can get in touch with that. And the same with like the UCs, the University of California's I applied to. I applied to all of them because there's like a whole other separate application for that. And I want to say I think I got to like all of them. But so that's my story with like Questbridge. And I made my decision at 11:58 p.m. on May 1st. And so it was 1 minute before the deadline. 1 minute before the deadline. And I was like crying because I didn't know where I wanted to go. Because I was going to the University of Southern California, because I narrowed it down to Swarthmore, the University of Southern California, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt, UPenn, Johns Hopkins, and I didn't know where I wanted to go, and I was like crying, and I was like, Mom, what do I do? And then I just hit, I accept my offer of admission to Vanderbilt University, and then I'm here.
Here.
And then I also got really good financial aid with like being a Questbridge scholar
Mhm.
and the Dell Scholarship. I don't know if you're familiar with the Michael and Susan Dell Scholarship.
The Gates one?
No, the Michael and Susan Dell.
I don't know that one.
So it's like Dell Computers, like they're like the creator of that foundation. So it's like $20,000 for 4 years, a brand new Dell computer, like a plethora of resources, and
Mhm.
then I got the Bill Gates Scholarship, which I had no idea how I even got it, but
I applied for that one, honestly.
you did?
Yes,
Oh
I
my God, I
submitted
love
the
that.
first
Okay,
phase.
Mm.
I am rooting for you. And just for tips of advice for that, it's a grueling process because
Mhm.
fill out a survey, right?
Right.
So I filled out the survey. I didn't submit my ACT scores, and I still got it. But just keep going through because it's like survey, essays, interview, selection, and don't be like discouraged by the numbers that how many people apply. Because last year it was like over 37,000 applicants, and each year they only choose 300. But do not let that discourage you because I had no idea that I would even get accepted for it, and I was screaming when I got it. So
You didn't
and
submit your ACT score?
I did not submit them.
Because when I tried to click submit, it wouldn't let me do it without putting in my scores.
What?
They may have changed the rules since after
Yeah.
COVID.
Really?
So this is Christian speaking, by the way. That main difference is that because the SAT ACT availability is now a relief due to COVID kind of passing, some institutions are still requiring it nowadays. That most of them haven't changed it since COVID, but there
Mhm.
are going to be those exceptions every
Yeah.
once in a while.
I know Vanderbilt is still like
Test optional.
test optional for the class of
2027.
2027. And also I think they're doing it for 2028 as well,
Yes.
from what I've seen. Yeah.
I know like a lot of schools, like for the high school classes and up until like 2024, 2020,
Yeah,
2025.
2023. Yeah.
They're not requiring the ACT or SAT. Harvard is one of those. So I was really psyched for that, but then I kind of got like waitlisted. So, but,
Yeah.
don't let that discourage you. But if you are applying to MIT, I believe they did reinstate the requirements of ACT and SAT, just so that they know that you're like prepared for STEM. But I don't know if that's on your list or not.
Mhm.
It was
Uh,
not.
okay.
MIT was not at all.
I just like applied just to apply, but like I knew I was gonna get rejected because I'm not like all about engineering, mathematics.
Right.
But I am a neuroscience major though. So, but oh yeah, what's your intended major?
I'm stuck between doing like a pre-law track or like a pre-med track.
I am in the same boat as you. Because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I can do a MD JD degree, which is like a medical and a law degree simultaneously. And that is
Seems
super hard and
stressful.
difficult. It's so hard. Because like, well, first you have to get through undergrad, and then you have to get into 2 schools at the same university. So that's just a long, grueling application process. But I'm sticking with pre-med, and if you come to no matter where you go, you're gonna have difficult classes. Like for example, I'm in Gen Chem, and I just took a test, and I think I did okay, because like it was like one of my first college exams, and now I know the layout because I know the layout. I know how to like properly study now, I guess you could say. But just if you get one bad grade on your first exam, don't let that discourage you from going on. That's all I'm gonna say for that.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Christian.
I'm an Isaac.
No,
you
Oh
know.
my freaking!
Girl, you
I
know
am
me.
tired.
We know.
Okay.
Christian.
Okay. tired. Ugh.
What else?
You know, I was
All right, Melissa.
I was calling Kelsey Katie the other day.
Who's Kelsey?
I
Anyway,
don't think
we were
you
in a
know her,
meeting.
but yeah. It's a very casual meeting. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna share my screen so we can go on the Questbridge form. Okay. So I did not need to put IDOC questions.
I hate IDOC.
Yeah.
We're going
Have
to
you
talk.
talked
We're
about-
going to talk about that when they do when they get the finalist decision.
Okay. Yes.
When they get the decision. So I'm not stressing
I was-
putting that on them right now. Okay. I don't know what we need to.
Review and submit probably needs
Mhm.
to be the
Oh,
big
yeah.
part.
Oh, I need to talk about this. So this is we're gonna talk about today a plethora of things, just like the ending of the application, basically. So this is important, this referral thing. So if you know anybody that, well, actually the deadline is passed
For what?
for this referral. I was about to say that. So we don't need to cover this, but maybe next year, if you know like anybody, you can like refer like people to this program.
Mhm.
And then obviously you don't have to refer people specifically through Questbridge. Recommendations elsewhere are still good. Rachel's wasn't through Questbridge, and I'm still reaching out to students from my hometown that are doing it.
Okay. And then this part, it's basically like you're okay with your materials being shared with Questbridge. Basically like a whole bunch of, what do I say?
You have to agree to it either way.
Yeah, formality. just agreeing that all this true. Like you have filled out the application to the best of your ability. And if you're a finalist, like they have the right to withdraw your finalist status. And basically if you have like a, what is it, like misdemeanor or some kind of stuff, like legal, we're talking about legal stuff that basically doesn't align with like the values and morals of Questbridge. That's what that part is. Okay. So this is the review and submit section. Obviously yours might look different. Mine is like blank because of course it's blank. So there's a couple videos on here where it's like review and submit videos where you can watch this to see about like any problems that you need to resolve, like any errors in your application. This is very good to use because they will tell you exactly what you are missing from your application. So I would always look at this before you submit this.
Mhm.
This is more specific now too. They actually changed this, honestly, because it looks different.
There's more specificities in there. And they kind of have to accommodate for the way that some students can't provide 100% of the information. So there's going to come a point in time where even on the dashboard, there's going to be a section where it's recommended you fill this out, but it's still kind of optional. I still had several of those since I could not fill 100% of my information, and I still achieved finalist status, so it'll be totally fine. It's just really good for getting the critical information that you need.
And this button right here, it's so you can like preview your like application that you filled out. This is what it looks like basically. It's like a little review and submit thing.
And that's what Questbridge looks at.
And then this button is like for saving, and you want to make sure you complete everything, like everything is filled up to the best of your ability. yeah, I guess we're gonna open this up to questions. Sarah, if you have any like questions for us, because we've gone through all the sections.
Additional information. I don't know what to write for this one. Like, what
Additional,
exactly am I supposed to write?
okay. So basically, this additional information section is like for any circumstances that you couldn't like put in your, say it's your essays, your application in general, like any other details that you could not include. So like if you lost a parent to a disease, sickness, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
or if you have like medical things going on, like medical expenses that like being covered,
It,
you know.
it could also be personal circumstances regarding family issues or mental health stuff that wouldn't be appropriate to include in a personal statement. I did that. And then also just more specific financial issues because it is based on financial stuff.
Do you write in like a paragraph form, or like how is it supposed to be written?
I did paragraph form.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just did a paragraph.
Just write a paragraph, I would say, or you can write like sentences.
It doesn't necessarily have to be formal. It's basically, it's an addendum. So I wouldn't concern yourself with format.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the only question. I'm just working on the essays right now.
You're gonna do great. I have faith in you.
We are rooting for you.
So are you having difficulty with any of the essays, or is it just a matter of completing them?
They're just going through the process of editing. Like Rachel was editing my short answers this morning.
Okay. All right.
I remember all the editing I had to do for mine.
Let me tell you, I edited my essays 8 times. I'm telling you. My short answer, yes, 8 times. I was so serious.
And also a tip, like if you are a finalist, which I'm pretty sure you will be, and you do your supplements and you have to like write out short answers and stuff, don't count the words because like there is a word count limit, and just write and write until you're done, and then like you can like always review it and take words out to fit that word limit. Because otherwise it just permits your writing. It doesn't sound like you, so that's like that frowned upon.
Yeah.
And just a couple more words of wisdom regarding finalist status and not finalist status. If you are the finalist status, which all of us who are rooting for you, then it's going to be a long haul between finalist day and match day.
That was so rough for me.
And it was rough. It was rough for all of us. We had some of our worst mental health struggles during that time regarding applying to every single university and then submitting our poor kids documentation on iDoc.
That was the worst.
And
that was horrible.
Yes.
Absolutely horrible.
And then trying to make sure you're attending every required Questbridge meeting and not forgetting about them. And then connecting once you're a finalist, you'll get connected to the Facebook for Questbridge for finalists. And there are literally thousands of students going through the exact same thing you are. And I would start connecting to them just to kind of make sure everybody's on the same page, because at that point, all you're looking for is someone else that understands. And it's totally understandable. We've been in your position, and if you're not a finalist, it is not the end of the road for you, because there are still several private universities that you can apply to through ED and RD that will still give you significant financial aid. Vanderbilt being one of them, Rice University being another. I believe Harvard's also a good financial aid.
If your family makes under $75,000, Harvard gives you full tuition, well, for a full cost of attendance.
So there are still several options through private universities. Public universities are good for in-state. I would again be careful with those. And then I also know a lot about the Air Force because I had to do lots of research for going into the Air Force. because I could not afford it, which is still its own good option.
Mhm.
I just decided to not do that because of my own personal reasons.
Mhm.
So there's still lots of several good options, and your teachers are going to know how everything's kind of bogging down. It's just a matter of reaching
Mhm.
out and
Mhm.
getting there. And on that note, it's a matter of just being a waiting game.
Yeah.
I hated
Yeah.
the waiting.
Well, the IDOC was absolutely horrible. Like I think I turned in my financial aid, like my last document, the day before it was, like the night before match decisions came out. Because I had one last document, and it was for my mom's business, and my mom didn't know she was supposed to fill that out. And they kept on sending us emails for some reason, and we're
Questbridge or
like,
Vanderbilt?
I think it would be Questbridge
yeah.
because it
Oh,
was
was
just
it
general
IDOC?
documentation.
Yeah, it was IDOC. I think it was Questbridge. They were telling me that I was missing some documentation. Also, IDOC itself was telling me that I was missing a documentation. I was like, what documentation? Because I know I filled all this out, and we kept on seeing like the business/farm supplement, but for some reason my mom was thinking it was for like if you had a farm. So when we literally found out, oh, we do the business supplement, it was literally the night before. I was like, okay, we're not gonna stress. We're gonna put this in. We're gonna give it to them, and then hope for the best. So
And then look what happened.
Yeah.
I know.
So, as a general rule of thumb, after you receive your final status, you will have about a month to fill in all supplementary documentation.
Mhm.
And most everything will be due either on November 1st or November 15th. And at least that's what it was last year. But those are some of that is hard
Mhm.
deadlines, especially regarding
Yeah.
rankings and some documentation submissions. And then, in other words, if you've got extenuating circumstances, reaching out to the appropriate institutions will be helpful because they'll give you guidance on either where to go or they'll give you some softer deadlines because it is its own kind of complication.
For like the deadlines, not the deadlines, I mean like the documentation for financial aid. There was like some tricks that indicates like potential admission.
Mhm.
So if a university continuously if their financial aid office continuously sends you, we are missing this document, please send it ASAP. That is primarily indicative of acceptance. For example, for the University of Southern California, it was beginning of like February or March. I was like receiving so many emails from them like, please submit this ASAP so we can like determine your financial aid. I was like, did I get in? And then I got in. I was like, bro. Also, if you get like a what is it, a second, like the parent waiver, it's like a
Yeah, I think it's like a parent. I think it's like a parent waiver.
I think it's like a
Yeah.
it's a kind of parent waiver if you don't have like the financial aid information for one parent.
Mhm.
If schools, for example, like Columbia, if they waive it, that's also primarily indicative of acceptance. So, because like I know I kept checking my financial aid portal to see if it was ever waived, but it wasn't, so that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But there's other just little tips and tricks for like the admissions process.
I see. This is very informative.
I don't know what I was gonna talk about next. I feel like we've gone over everything, the basics of everything. Sarah, do you have any more questions for us?
Away from the Questbridge, have y'all did the FAFSA thing? Because it's about to open in like a week.
Oh shoot,
Yes,
I forgot
we-
about
we-
that.
FAFSA.
FAFSA is another monster.
Well, no, because it's not that bad this year, I was told.
Okay.
It's not that bad this year.
I don't think so. I think they
Okay.
modified it.
Okay, so each of us have different
Oh my
circumstances regarding FAFSA.
Jesus.
Rachel, you go first.
Um, Bachelor for me, I think it was a lot. Putting in like my dad's financial aid, because like my mom and my dad have never like actually completed like the fast for full scale, except with my sister, but my sister knew kind of what she was doing, but that was like the first time they'd done it, and it's been like 4 years since my sister went to college. So like me, like I did not know a single thing what was going on. My parents did not know. We were like, they kind of knew what was going on, but kind of didn't. But we were like going step by step, and then sometimes we were like checking, and then sometimes we would get like something wrong and have to go back and put in the numbers again. So that was just a long process. And my parents made like under, like we're in like the 20 to 40 thousand dollar bracket for like money. So it basically depends on like, especially like how much money your parents make, because I know for me, like my parents making like 40K, they gave me like the whole like FAFSA grant, which was like $6,495. Yeah, the Pell Grant, which is what you get. But it really just differs between each person and each person's personal situation. But it's a lot to do. It's a lot of like things to sign. It's just a lot overall. Um, but yeah, I don't think I had it, honestly. I don't think I had it as like difficult as everyone else. Um, of course, there's like people who had it more difficult than me, so I'm at least grateful that I had at least a little bit of help, and my parents knew somewhat of what they're doing. But I did feel bad for like other people that didn't have like parents like from, especially like from the U.S., or that never like attended college and was like didn't know at all what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I had, well, because my dad is like not in my life right now, so I only had to use my mom's information. So I don't know. We kind of did it in one night, and surprisingly, we did it correctly.
Hmm.
And we put all the numbers in, and then like I was like, Mom, I don't want to go through all of our tax documents and just search and like find the thing where it has to go and put it in there. So FAFSA has this thing called like the IRS retrieval form. So you just click this link, and then it brings you to the IRS website, and you put in your information, and they bring your tax information from the IRS into the FAFSA, and we did that, and I was like, thank God, and then we just finished. That was my like situation.
So I couldn't receive information from either of my parents because they wouldn't give it to me, and I was not living with them. And at one point, me and my counselors were panicking because we didn't know how I could legally fill it out, because I could not submit any numbers because, first of all, I had no numbers. And then second of all, I had to apply with a specific status. And that was either like as a dependent in your guardian's household, or as an emancipated minor, as an federally orphaned, or housed by one of like the local courts kind of thing. And I couldn't apply for any of those and didn't know what to do. And so after talking with my counselors and stuff, I had to file documentation first through my high school to submit that I was technically an independent homeless student, because I did not live with either of my legal guardians. And so with that, not only did I have to submit that information to my school, because it was through a specific act, the McKinney-Vento Act, I think, I had to submit extra information to FAFSA. I had to submit at least 3 other documents to IDOC. So, you've already got the financial information, but when you have to fill out information that says, hey, you've got no parents as well, it gets a bit frustrating. But it's everything kind of has its own circumstances, and they've got ways to work around it. So once all my documentation was filed, then I could submit my FAFSA as an independent minor, independent homeless minor, and my EFC turned out at 0. I got 100% of the Pell Grant, and then it just kind of moved forward from there. If your parents are there to help you out, they can help you out. It's a quick, easy process. Well, not quick, but it's a easier process if you have the numbers ready from your W-2s, your I-9s, and your T1040s. And there are lots of YouTube videos on how to fill out the FAFSA. Questbridge will give you those resources. And with these extra documentation submissions, Questbridge will hold your hand because it is just, it's a tiring process as it all comes together, and you're still a full-time high school senior. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be worth it though.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
Did getting any scholarship affect like the amount of money you got from FAFSA?
No.
It actually, no, it did not. Especially like coming from someone like how we're both matched and regular decision, it did not. It literally was just included in it. So they do not like subtract money from the FAFSA just because you get like another scholarship.
FAFSA is just another national official way of ensuring of universities looking at how much financial aid you do need. And so with that being said, if you have like a specific number that you may not get that 100% from every university, Vanderbilt's an exception to that. And several other universities are as well. So I wouldn't concern yourself too much with it. And then also make sure to, if you've got local scholarships, fill those out as well. You'll usually have until about March through May to fill those scholarships or those outside scholarships. I applied to a scholarship through the National Society of High School Scholars and won a $500 one. And then I got one through my local small town, and then I got one through Texas FFA. So make sure to keep filling those out. Those are still your plan Bs, and you always need to have that plan B.
Yeah, I got the $500. I got a $500 scholarship through NHS through the I think it was the Young Leader Award.
That one, yes.
And I think they're doing like applications now through that, so I would check that out as well. I got that scholarship. That might have been the only one I got, to be honest. I applied to a lot of scholarships and didn't get in, so it's totally fine. Things work out how they work out.
Isaac, can I have like your phone number or email just in case for like the Gates scholarship?
Here, I can put it in this chat. Where's the chat? Okay. And then I'm gonna put it in the chat, and then you can like screenshot it. So the first phone number.
Because I get to know if I move to the second phase or not in like December.
Okay.
So that, oh yeah, it's like I found out about phase 2 on match day, so that kind of like made me happy.
Oh,
Matched.
right.
And then
I'll be there in like 5 minutes. Okay, I'll see you then.
Uh-oh, Rachel.
Bye. I forgot the guy that I was seeing today was coming.
All right, there you are.
Oh, did we?
Thank
it's
you.
The one we discussed last
You're
time.
welcome. Who was it?
Yeah, the guy I was seeing today is coming. Forgot. Okay, Sarah. So we're gonna end this meeting here. I know we have a meeting today.